Good evening, everyone. I'm Mingoa. On behalf of the MAPA team, I will be presenting our project proposal, that is the online learning web portal for Romblon State University. Let's go to the next slide. Our team is composed of Faith Marijo Alvaran, Gemille Magano, Miss Glida Mayor Lim, Miss Maria Cristina P. Madea, Miss Hannah Angelica Fontillar, Miss Olive Joy Talsana Tan, Miss Richelle Mijares, Miss Pauline Di Guzman, myself, Mr. Ken Richard Mijares, Mr. Mark Arthur Salverio, and Mr. Roel Panilagutan. Let's go to our presentation. Our presentation is arranged through the following. First, we will present the summary of our project proposal. Second, the background. Third is the objective of our project proposal, the project description, the work plan, the milestones, the outcomes and the impacts of our project proposal, the evaluation of the CSF or the critical success factors of the project, and lastly is the budget of the project. This is the summary of our project proposal. First, the lead institution is the Romblon State University. The length of the project is 5 months. The projects will start and end from January 3rd up to June 3rd, 2022. The total funding that is based on the budget, calculated budget, is 1 million pesos. And these are the outcomes of the project as well as the impacts. The project will have cost savings in the production of course materials. Second, it will allow the teachers to stay connected with their students outside the school hours. Third, the learning materials will be available 24/7 to the teachers as well as to the students. And lastly is that it allows teachers to support students anytime they wish. And of course, it will offer transparency to the parents on the performance of their students or children on their respective course. Let's go to the background of the project. The COVID-19 pandemic exposes the weaknesses of the Philippine education system. The health crisis also challenged the global education system and forced the education community to shift to the online teaching mode. Online learning is a medium that makes teaching and learning processes more adaptable and student-focused. The use of online learning method is no more than an option. It is a necessity. The COVID-19 pandemic has made learning institutions to shift from offline mode to online pedagogy, prompting many schools to digitalize their operations, understanding the early need or the urgent need for the current situation. Due to the urgency of needs to minimize the adverse effects of learning disruptions, most of the learning institutions use free applications like the Google Meet, the Google Classrooms, the Microsoft Teams, and the Zoom. Although the online applications provided a quick fix to the desperate need to bring learners back to the classroom, there are drawbacks of online applications like the lack of protection for intellectual property rights of the learning materials, the taking of online examinations of the students, among others. This is the objective of our project proposal. Our proposed project is aimed to offer solutions to the challenges in providing online classes and to augment the current pedagogy used by the Romblon State University. This is the project description of our proposed project. The proposed project is based on the latest internet-based learning solution. It is one of the most promising technologies in online learning by allowing learners and teachers to gain access to learning resources anytime and anywhere. The proposed project facilitates online tutorials with predefined access and privileges in the web portal, libraries, and on the testing module. These are the core functionalities of our proposed project. The first functionality is that the test learners will be able to take predefined examination or test, and that is randomized questions. The second functionality is that the test results will be stored in a secured central repository server that will be hosted in the provider. The third functionality is that it can easily extend or update or introduce a new study topic anytime according to the study plans, and this will be done by the teachers. The fourth functionality is that it serves as secured central storage or repository of digitalized educational contents. The fifth functionality is that it facilitates the learners to collaborate with a group. And the last one is that it allows the recording of online learning intervention and the audit of access to online educational content. Meaning, in this case, functionality number 6, that every log on and log out or any activities to be made by the users will be recorded by the system. Let's go to the web portal overview. This is the design of the online learning web portal. There are 4 actors or participants or group of participants in the system. First, the teachers. Second, the students. The third one is the web portal administrator, which will be a staff from RSU. And the last one is the internet service provider, where the web server and the learning portal will be stored. After the overview of our web portal, now let's go to the structure of the web portal itself. As you can see on the screen, the visitor or the user will land on the home page of the web portal, or the learning or the online learning web portal in this case. And from that home page or the landing page, technically called, there will be 3 menu or options. One is the news, the second one is the login, the third one is the registration, and the last one is the FAQ or the frequently asked question option. Under the login, the moment that a user registered under the registration option, both the student and the teacher, the user now can move to the login and access the courses module. And the user now can proceed to testing if needed, and of course, those exam or tests will be graded. Then it has also a library of materials in which the students and teachers as well can access and use it during the learning process. And the last option that we have here is the forum or the chat, which serves as the chat room for collaboration of students as well as students and teachers. Now let's go to the web portal modules. As you will see here, these modules, they were shown from the earlier slide, that the structure itself. Now let's discuss here what are the different modules and the functionality of each module. The first module of our learning portal here is that the news module. The news module is available for both public and registered users. The news module will display the articles and announcements. The second module of our learning portal here is the courses module. In the courses module shows the enrolled courses of the students. This module is directly linked to the testing module. The third module here is the testing module. The testing module, in this case, will show the test questions or the examinations in the form of text, audio, or video. The questions in the testing module are randomized using a randomizer algorithm, technically in technical language, as well as adaptive. The library module, the fourth module that we have here, is that the library module is the repository or the storage of the learning materials in the form of ebooks, audio, video, as well as the course plan or the study plan of the students. And the last module that we have here is the forum and chat module. The forum and chat module here works just like an online chat room, as we are familiar in using with. And the purpose of this one is to connect the students and the teachers. What are the technologies that we are going to use in order to develop these modules? The proposed project will use the so-called open source development platform, meaning there will be no licensing in the software or the development software that will be used. Okay, let's go to the student functional features of our online learning system. So under this slide, or under this feature, these are the functionality that are available for registered student user. First, under the student user, a student can access the course materials, which is in text, with audio and video as well. Those materials are searchable, meaning the search capability of Google can be used in the learning portal. Second, the second functionality is that the course materials are available 24/7. The students as well as the teachers can access the course materials anytime they want. So there is no limitation here. Anytime they want to access the materials, they can do it. The third functionality here is that there will be a tracking system. There will be a tracking system in the learning portal that will save the user log-ons activities. So all log-ons and log-outs of the student user will be saved. And this will allow the audit of the access later on. Okay, aside from that, there is a capability to stop the access on a point and come back to the same point using a clock system on the learning portal. The fourth functionality here is that the test or the examinations under the testing module is randomized. So there is no way that one student will give another answer to another student because they will have a different questions. And the last one is that the test that will be given to the students or the examinations will be graded online. The third functionality here that belongs to the teacher account is that the teacher can edit the student's profile. The reason why the teacher can edit the student profile so that the teacher can enter the right information that belongs to his or her student. The fourth functionality that belongs to the teacher account here is that the teacher can create or post news or any announcements that belong to his or her class. And lastly, the teacher can post materials in the form of articles in the library. Now, let's go to the work plan of the project. The work plan of the project here, they were divided into four: under the ideation, initiation, implementation, and closure stages of the project management. Let's go to the ideation. Under the ideation, here comes the planning of the project plan, of the project itself, and it will take around 5 working days. Under the initiation, the activities here belongs to the analysis and the design of the project, which will have 20 working days for analysis and 20 working days also for the design of the system. Under the implementation stage here, the implementation that you can see on the screen, actually it belongs to the coding itself or to the programming of the website itself or the portal. That's under the implementation. That will take around 40 working days. And of course, after the coding or programming, here there will be a testing of the web portal, and it will take around 10 working days. On the closure stage, that is the time that the created or the programmed web portal will be released for public use or for the use of the students and the teachers. And that belongs to the closure stage of the project management. Now let's go to the milestones of the project. What are the milestones? The milestones are the product or the output of each project phase. Under the planning stage of the project, the milestone will be the project charter, the project plan, and the work breakdown structure. Under the analysis stage of the project, the milestone or the output will be the functional requirements and the system requirements. And this will be the basis for the design of the learning portal. Under the design stage of the project, as you can see on the screen, the output or the milestone will be the technical system design and information architecture. The information architecture here refers to the structure of the learning portal. Under the implementation, of course here, this is the programming itself. Now, the milestone here will be the alpha version or the initial version of the learning portal. Under the implementation phase of the project, the milestone will be the initial or the initial working learning portal. So this is the first stage. This was created by the programmer, and then it will be released for the purpose of testing. So the next stage after that, of course, is the testing. All the functionality under the testing stage will be done. It will be tested one by one by the programmer, by the analyst, and by the designer. And it will produce the so-called the beta version of the learning portal. And under the releasing stage, this will be the product of the beta version. And this will be the almost done under the releasing stage of the project. It will produce the so-called the release version of the website or the learning portal. And after that, the last test will be the so-called post-release evaluation, and that will be the final testing, and it will be released as a stable version of the website. The reason that we have so many stages of versions here, or tests here of the website or the learning portal, is that we want to make sure that the stable version or the release version of the learning portal will be bug-free, or there will be no problem for the users. Now let's go to the outcomes and the impacts of the project. So what is the first outcome here? First, the project will save in the reproduction of the course materials. So there will be no more printing. The reason why? Because all materials will be under digital format. Second, the project will allow teachers to stay connected with their students. The reason why they can stay connected with students because we have the forum and the chat. The teachers can communicate with the students anytime and anywhere. Of course, the next one is that the learning portal will be available 24/7 to both teachers and students. The next one is that it allows the teachers to support their students outside the classroom. Because there's no classroom here. The classroom is virtual. So any question by the students to the teachers regarding the subject matter can be done anytime, again, and anywhere. The next outcome here is that the teachers will be able to receive feedbacks from their students. What type of feedbacks? Maybe for the quality of the teaching and the quality of the materials and any other questions with regards to the teaching and materials of the course. And lastly, it will offer greater transparency to the parents in terms of how their children are performing in their study. Why? Because the teachers can request for access that they can view the performance of their children in terms of grades and examinations. Let's go to the evaluation of the critical success factors. So what are these critical success factors? The critical success factors are the factors that we will use in order to judge if the project is successful or not. Meaning this will be the criteria for judgment if our project here is successful or not. So there will be two types of critical success factors in this case. The one that belongs to the technology and the one that belongs to the students. Let's talk about first the technology-wise factors. First, under the technology critical success factor, the first one here is that the user should not experience problem while using the online learning portal. So it will be problem-free. So that is one of the factors to judge if the project is successful or not. Second, the student could use mobile devices for accessing the online learning materials. If we say mobile devices here, this could either be a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop. That is aside from the desktop. Because the learning portal, the online learning portal can also be accessed using the desktop if the students have it or the teacher have it. The third technology success factor here is that the information on the learning website should be well structured. it is properly arranged so that students or the users could find the right information that they need. The fourth one here is that the learning portal should be easy to use for learning as well as for testing. And the last for the technology factors is that students could interact with their classmates through the learning portal. Not only with their classmates but also with their teachers. On the student side factors, the first factor here is that it should encourage the student to search more facts than the traditional method. How? Because the learning portal will utilize or will use the Google search methodology in searching information. Second, the learning portal should encourage the students to participate more actively in the discussion. Third is that the students are not limited. Third, the students should not be intimidated in using the learning portal. The courses on the learning portal could be easily accessed and could easily be learned. Therefore, they should not be intimidated. And lastly is that the course materials are uploaded in timely manner. Let's go to the budget of the proposed project. The total budget for the proposed project is 1 million pesos. It is divided into project management with a total of 300,000 pesos. Under the project management, this will be the professional fee for the project managers for the entire project implementation period. The second one is for the 275 pesos belongs to the systems analysis design. And this will be the professional fee for the systems analyst and the systems designer. The third budget here amounting to 150,000 under the web development. This one is allocated for the web programmer. For the graphic design amounting to 50,000, that will be the professional fee for the graphic designer. And the 30,000 for user training, this will be for the trainer. The consumables of 25,000, this could either be for papers and other miscellaneous expenses. The domain name registration amounting to 5,800, that will be on annual basis. We need to register a domain for the learning web portal. And of course, the hosting of 15,600, that is an annual basis also. That will be paid for the internet service provider for hosting the website or the online learning portal. Plus the 10% overhead amounting to 85,140, a total budget of 936,540 pesos. Aside from that, we have the so-called post-development expenses that will belong to the domain name registration, which is 5,800 per year and 15,600 per year for web or database hosting. That ends our presentation of our project proposal. For the question and answer, we will proceed it after this presentation. Thank you for listening.